Hello, testing, testing. Hey, hello everybody. Thank you for joining another class. Let me just check if everything is working fine here. Give me a minute. Let me go here. Hello, hello. Let me keep talking so I can see. Hello, testing, testing. Hey, hello everybody. Thank you for joining another class. Let me just check if everything is working. The sound is a little bit low. Let me see if it's gonna get better now. Hello, testing, testing. Let me keep talking so I can see. Hey, hello everybody. Thank you for joining another. Oh, the audio is not good. Let's see. The sound is a little bit low. Let me see if it's gonna get better now. Hello, testing, testing. Tá. Hello, hello, testing. Can you hear me well? Hello, hello. This sound is not as good as I like. But let's see here something. Sound settings. Hello, hello, testing. Can you hear me well? Oh, output is there. The input is this guy. The sound is not as good as I like. But let's see here something. Sound settings. Okay, let's see now. Okay, let's go. Crank up your volume there so you can follow something. So, let's go. So, is it still very low? João, can you say if now is okay? Hello, testing. I hope now is better. Let's see. Let me know if it's better now. Otherwise, I have to maybe restart my machine. Oh, maybe I can go here to the properties, advanced property, and maybe I can do a. Okay, let me know if now is better. Looks like it's better, but let's see. Oh, a lot better. Okay, thank you, João Madureira. So today you're gonna keep solving our questions. And the reason we have those, let me just go back there. So let me close this. This was from the last class. So those are the questions. I want to make sure that everything that is very common for any software engineer, what we see daily, that be part of our thinking process, that we can. Let me just do a final test from the last class. Oh, nice, good. So all this math that may be hard in the beginning, I want to do because I know repetition help us to get better. So let's go. The question we'll solve today is the 13 and 14. I already put them in the files here, so let's see how it goes. And as we have always to do, let me prepare the thing here so we can do our thinking on the right side. We don't need all this, and this will be enough. Let me do a little bit of zoom here. Sorry for this. And then I can move it to the side. Okay, I think this is enough. Quick question, João. Do you think the font size is okay, or is better to do something like this? Make a little bit bigger. As we have space, let's keep this. So, please, doesn't matter how simple the requirement looks like, always take the time to understand it. That is a big difference between like a beginner and someone that has some experience. As more experienced you are, more you pay attention to those details because, okay, it's bigger now, so let's think if this is okay. Please don't tell me you are watching the cell phone. It has to be in a PC. So now I think it'll be fine. So pay attention, read it, and if you don't understand, always make sure to clarify it. If it's an interview, talk to the interviewer. If it's a real life one, talk with the business people, with the PMs, and try to figure out. Do your research. Never go to your solution mode or coding before we spend some proper time to really understand it. So let's go. Read the name, the salary, and salary increase percentage, and print the name and a new salary. So obvious, name will be a string. There is no reason to think name will be something different. Salary, most of the case, will be a float, depending on the company that you are working on. Maybe it will be different. I already said that I work in a company that the currency, like the amount, even being like in dollar, they store everything as an integer. So we have to do the calculation to divide by 100. Or multiply by 100 before you save. And the salary increase percentage, and print the name and new salary of the employee. So let's go back to our mental process here. It's very important to use like our imagination. Let's imagine that we are solving this problem ourselves. How will you do? So we know that, okay, we have an input. The input here will be, let me make this kind of like something like this. Will be salary. Name, salary, and then salary increase percentage. So this will be like the three inputs that we do have. So our program will be here, and we need to do some calculation. And we have to provide an output. Those outputs will be the name and the new salary. So basically it's this. It's very important to have this well defined. So first, you know what your program has to get as input, and you know what is the output. Now, my advice is before you start to do the coding, make sure that you understand the problem, how to fix it, how to solve it. For now, we are doing very simple thing. It's just some calculation, and computer is very good for that. Imagine that your program is part of a system that is going to run this for thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of employees. Million is hard. I don't know one company that has million employees, but maybe 100,000. Okay. I already work for a company that has more than 100,000. So this probably part of a bigger system. So most of the time we build any system, not most, every time with a small piece, and then we combine them. So how we do this calculation? We can think, well, we will apply the salary increase percentage on top or on the salary. Or just calculate the salary increase percentage of the salary. Then new salary, the new salary will be the input salary or just salary plus the salary raise. You can even say calculate the salary raise by applying the increase percentage on the salary. In this point, we are not still thinking in coding. We are not still thinking in Python. We are going to think, okay, may I find how I calculate this? Pay attention that this is something that we have to come up. We have the problem. No one is telling us exactly how to solve it, and we have to figure out. So this is the art of coding. We have a problem, we have to figure out how to solve it, and then we can translate to a program language. For now, we are doing some very basic thing, but it's very important because you have to feel confident about calculating those things. Percentage, we do all the time. Discounts, tax, increase, bonus is a very common. That's why I make sure that we all understand. So percentage is we divide by 100 and then we multiply for something that we want to calculate that percentage of. So here I didn't put variable name, I just describe it. And now we have a clue about what we need to do. Never ever in your life, please, is when you're gonna bomb an interview or you do your most mistakes when you just start to type as soon as we have a glimpse or you just read quickly the problem. Doesn't matter how simple it is. Try to make sure to understand. Oh, name, for example. Name will be a string. In this case, salary, let's say that is a float. And salary increase could be an integer. Maybe we only give 5, 7, 10, 15. We don't give like a fraction, but let's say that could be a fraction. Okay? And then here the salary name, of course, or the name, of course, will be string. And the new salary, if the input is float, the output will be float as well. We do this so that way, when we start to do the coding, we have less things to figure out. We are helpers, like we do like a drawing, like sometimes you do like a, how do you call? Oh my God, I forgot now. When you need to do, you just do like a model, or you have to build something, you just do like a tryout. Okay, so then you can say, okay, here I am always still in the real world, so it's make this for a human to read. I am mentalize our solution. So let's see, okay, how we deal with the input? Well, we have to get a name that we already learned, so we do an input, and then we give like a label name. We do the same for the salary. We could call old salary, current salary. So let's do something like this, just to make easier too. This is the current salary. So we know that we have to convert to, we receive, we will convert the input to float, and then we get an input, and we say, salary. I don't need to call here current salary because in the specification they just mention salary. So I like to match whatever language the business folks gave to us. Okay, and then I go here and say, oh, now the salary increase percentage. And I'll do the same. Will be a float from an input, and we'll do the same. Input, salary, increase, percentage. It's good to give some space here. Once we have this output, we can say, oh, let's calculate the salary increase. And by now, we should be very confident with percentage. So what will be this percentage? It will be the salary increase percentage. Percentage, we divide by 100. And then we multiply to what we want to calculate the percentage of. That will be the current salary. We could say the same variable, current salary, you receive the new one, but in this case, we can call new salary. We receive the current salary plus the salary increase. And now we can say, okay, let's print what was asked. One thing that is always good to do is, even knowing that only the name and the new salary was asked, it's good to confirm, oh, look, we calculate the salary increase. We want to print or to return as well. And maybe you can get an answer, no, if I need it, I will tell you to do. And then you say, okay, sorry. Or the person can do, oh, nice idea. As we have, let's return as well, because maybe it's a nice information to have. So then you can say something like new salary, because here it's mentioned new salary. So you can say, okay, new salary equals to, and then the variable new salary. You can say like this, and then something like salary raise equals to, and then the variable salary increase. Or here we could, okay, let's change this name to match what is very common. So, okay, we need to redefine or refine our code. We realize, well, salary increase maybe for salary is merit to sale, is a raise. So we're going to rename it. It's nice to use this functionality because you rename everywhere. So salary raise. Or someone could say just raise. I know a lot of people that use like just salary increase, raise, or increase percentage. And here maybe we could change, instead of salary increase percentage, we could say, okay, let's rename to be salary raise percentage. Okay? This is more like sometimes personal preference. No one can tell, oh, salary increase will be better, salary raise. I like salary raise because we are raising the salary. So it's increase as well. So it's a shorter word. So just say that there is some time you spend to choose right names. Of course, you should not have a variable called this variable is going to store the new salary. It's too long. And you should not just call S or SLL, SAL, or okay, salary is fine. Cool. So now what we do, we need to test. A nice way to test is let's put some values that we know how to calculate. And then we can maybe ask ChatGPT or ask Copilot or ask business people, could you give me some values that I can test my code just to make sure that what I did is correctly. So we will do something like this. We run. And then we're going to ask, okay, put the name. The name will be Jose. Now put the salary. Let's say like 120,000, something like this. And then salary increase, let's make like 10%, because I know that 10% of 120 will be 12K. Okay, so give enter, and then there is a new salary. New salary is 132. The salary raise is this. Okay, we can do, okay, let's run again. Let's test with some different value. So just to make sure, let's put like Jose again. Let's make like 200,000. And then salary increase 20%. We know that will be 40. Or we can say 20% dot, dot 5. And then you can see, okay, the salary increase will be 41, and that's fine, because if it was 20%, it would be 40. Plus 1% will be 2,000. How is half? So is 41,000. Okay, so never be lazy testing your code. If you are in doubt, ask for help. What we can do is we can go here. Let's see if we can trust in the Copilot today. Copilot. What is the Google one? We can try those. I'm using Copilot because as I work for Microsoft, is what I was used to do. But could you please give me some values to test a program I create to receive as input the salary and salary raise percentage and calculate the new salary. I would like some values with as float to test my program. Let's see what we're gonna get. What I'm trying to put in your mind is doesn't matter how smart you are, how good coder you are, if you don't do a proper testing of your code, you do mistakes that you should avoid. It's better a developer that is not that smart, but focus on guarantee that the code will work in testing, than one that thinks is smart but does not do any coding. So let's see. Okay, I say, oh, well, I need the results to compare with the output of my program. I read an article that some engineer, software engineer, was getting emotional attached to Copilot and those AI solutions because looks like it's something that you can interact with. Okay, so let's see. We do have some values here. Doesn't matter they are correct, but let's test. Okay, it's something already. Or you can do the calculation by hand. That is good because you're going to learn it, and then you can test. So let's put some name here. Arthur, salary was 50,000. I put 50,000, 5.5. So looks like it's correct. The salary raise is 52,750. Okay, so this is just my advice that if you want to be respected as a good software engineer, as a good coder, make sure that whatever you do a good way testing. During a code interview, it's very important that before you start to do the coding, come with some values and validate with the interviewer. If I provided this, is this a result? This expected result? And the interviewer say, yes, it is. And then after you build your solution, use those values to validate. Because then you show maturity. You say, oh, do you know, before I start to do my logic, I am sure that I know what is the exit criteria. I know what is expected. Then I build my solution and now I test it. Okay, we could get some different values. Let's try this one here because it's interesting. Probably we're gonna have some difference here because of the rounding. So let's make Layla, and then the salary will be 89,999.99. And then the aumento will be 7.1%. And then we have this 96399. So as we can see, there is some difference here that I was expecting something like that. Because look, this was 96389. So what happened? Oh, let's see first if I didn't do any mistake here. Was 899999. Percentage 7.1. And then you can say, oh, you can say like this. For example, I will get this. Oh, and there is something here. He is using only 2 decimals. So if you use 2 decimal, he is okay. This go to 99, but I don't think this should be 9. So what you can do is something like this. Let's see here if I can. For the case 5, I got the result as 96389.98. Could you validate? Let's see if you remember that I'm talking about this 5th code. And then he did, oh, okay, this is the math. So another thing that was nice that he showed here is that maybe someone that was a mathematician said, whoa, this guy is dumb. Look how much math he's doing that is not needed. So a different way to solve this problem will be, okay, instead of calculate the salary raise, we could just make one calculation. So for example, we could change this. Let's see if this will be easier for you to understand. The new salary, I will comment those lines. The new salary will be equals to, do you see this? Current salary multiply by 1 plus salary raise percentage divided by 100. In the past, this will be the best way to do this. Let me just show something here. Because now I'll copy this here, and this guy should be comment as well. We could have both. So now as we are not calculating salary raise, we are just calculating new salary. Maybe if you show this to someone that has a strong math background, they say, oh, your teacher is not that smart. Look, he did he used an extra variable to do that calculation. So we could have, of course, like math, we can reorganize or simplify our equation. Instead of calculate the raise, we could just do in one calculation. So this, you see, we are saying current salary multiply by 1, because basically when you multiply this by 1 will be that value, and then we multiply the current salary by the salary raise percentage divided by 100. So we are doing those 2 operations in just one equation. I don't like that a lot, because most of the time we need those intermediate like calculations as well. So what you could do is, let's see if this change the code. What I want to feel the pain is every time we change our code, we must retest. We will learn later on how to do this test automatic, like how we can make some code, provide values, and make sure that the result matches what we expect. So now what you do, let's run it again. I will put a breakpoint here just to see what happened. So let's call Jose, and then the salary will be 89999.99 and 7.1. So look, it's exactly this thing, but in just one blow. Current salary multiplied by 1, so it will be current salary plus the percentage divided by 100 multiplied by 8. So we have like the salary plus the percentage increase. So will be the same result, but we don't have that increase. So if I was doing an interview, I would prefer to do this way. And I will even say, oh, should we print this out, just to show that I have some experience and I know that if you are calculate something, that thing may be useful. Unless I was told, oh, this is a function that has to return only those values, nothing else. I said, okay, but it's always nice to double check. Cool. So what happened now? We could say, oh, our program is perfect. Well, let's see. Let's comment this. So yeah, we can print twice, no problem. So imagine something that happened in code that we'll learn how to do with this later on and why you have so many bugs. Someone could put a name here. Oh, sorry, here. Let me do a Ctrl-Z here. A name. And then my mistake, maybe they did minus 5075. And then you can say, oh, I want to increase minus 2%, dot 51. So look, maybe a mistake that happened. An employee or a clerk type a wrong value, and look what we're gonna do. Instead of sending money to the employee, we'll take money from his account. So we'll learn later on how to validate the input in a way that we can protect the data from human mistakes. Don't worry about this right now. We'll learn about this later on. But I just want to make sure that you understand that any piece of code, until we really protect that code, we can have some unexpected result. And this is the eternal fight between developers and QA. Because a QA knows, oh, let me test if you are protected by this. Because QA is that guy that has like a paranoid, or anything can happen. Because the engineers say, who the hell will give a salary negative? Well, a mistake. Maybe a file that was being read and there is a symbol there that should not be there. Maybe a user typing it, something could happen. So it's just to explain you how much software is fragile, because even we almost 100% sure that does work, may not work, depending on some different things. So remember that it's this or this. I will keep both so you can see both results. Cool. And remember that anyways, we could do something like the round. We saw already that. I'm not going to show again, but it's very important to check with the business people or the interviewer, or how many decimals you want me to use. Can I use whatever is there? Should I have to round to 2? Usually in salary, in amount, we round to 2. So we could do this here. Maybe here in salary, we could say round the salary for 2 decimals. And I will do the same here. Round salary for 2 decimals. And then I change my code. I cannot trust it. I have to test again. And ideally, I should test again with all the values. So I want you all to feel this pain. So when I teach you how to do this test in our American way, we will even build the test before we write our code. Okay, so now let's retest. I'll put Jose, and then let's try that value, 89999.99, and the percentage will be 7.1. Now I can see only 2 decimals and looks good. Okay, and he even correct himself here. So never trust blindly any AI solution. As you can see here in the middle of correct values, we got one that was wrong. And imagine that you trust this blindly and you just give this to someone. You're gonna be giving a wrong salary. Okay, it's only $10, but it's still a lot. Instead of 99, it was 89. Okay. So this is good. So we can understand that AI is still not that reliable, that is not still replacing us. It's going to help us a lot. It's like a autocomplete in steroid, but there is a lot of people announce like doomsday, there is no more needs to engineer. I can tell you that now we need even more good engineers. Okay. Okay, let's go. Now let's go to the next question. It's very common when you are in the market for a long time, in some point, the new problems will be very similar. I already have jobs that I got bored because everything I was doing was just the same thing over and over again. Meantime, I was young and I just changed jobs. I said, well, I'm not learning anymore. It's not funny. I want to get more. But some people like that. Like okay, I'm okay. I'm gonna keep doing this and until I need to do something different. So this is very real. When you are in a company, work for some time, depend of the market, you don't get new challenges. So some engineers stay in the same job for decades without seeing any new challenge about the business, just like little changes here and there. Maybe the business is not that complex, or maybe they are there for so long that even being complex for them is easy. That now you could feel, oh, I can solve this. Let me do something like this. I can solve this without even doing anything like this. And this happens. I not say that every day I need to do this. You need to do this when you get something new, when you are doing a code interview. But it's like, do you remember, like when you do a drive license exam? You don't drive the same way every day as we do in the exam, because in the exam you have to stop in the stop sign, count until 3. Because if you don't do this, the exam will just cut you. When you're gonna do a merge, you have to give plenty of space. You does not like take any risk. Of course, in daily we don't take risk, but you don't give as much space as when we have someone that is there, sometimes with the intention to like fail you. We make sure that we don't cut any of the lines. A friend of mine sometimes joke, well, it's a line, it's not a wall, so we can go over sometime. And when we're gonna change lane, you have to do the the shoulder check twice. Sometimes we are not even looking because we have like by the glass we can see, most of the car now can see your blinds, can show your blind spot. But if you don't do it, you're gonna cut. It's the same with the interview. We must do this to show them that this is part of our habit, that it's part of our like thinking process, our methodology. Okay. So now I could take the risk and say, oh, do you know, this one I just type. I'm not going to do anything like this. And this is doable. For those things that is kind of repeated, when you get something that is very similar, we could even copy and paste and do some little change. So let's go there. What do you do? Read the name. Oops. So read the name, the variable name. You get input and then name. Years of experience. So we can just say years experience, or let's not be lazy. Years of experience. In this case, could be float or could be integer. Let's imagine that when we ask years of experience, will be could be 1.5, 1.8, and maybe the business said no, we only give bonus for full years. So then it will be an integer. Okay, and then input and input, and here you can say years of experience. This could easily be part of a payroll program. because every year you need to recalculate the new salary. And then the number of kids of an employee. Oh, I forgot to see how important it is. I didn't pay attention, so I could miss the salary. Salary will be input salary, and here I will convert to float. A few considerations. We could think like this. Oh, let's do the round right here. The problem is if you do the round right here, maybe when you do the calculation, you have some change because the round will remove some cents. So usually we only do the round at the end. When you finish all the calculation, if you have to do any round, there is when we do. We don't do the round in the middle because then we can mask the final value. Okay? And now the number of the kids. So I can just say kids, and then it will be an integer. No one has a half kid. And then it will be like input. And here, number of kids. So that will be my input. So what I could do now? Well, I can maybe come up with a formula to calculate the entire new salary. I don't like this approach. Like I said, I like to have all the pieces we need to do a calculation. So what we could call here, for example, experience raise. So what will be our experience raise? We know that you need to calculate something like 0.5, 0.5 multiply by, look, is 5%. Oh, 0.5%. So it's 0.5 per each 100. So then we're going to say, let's divide by 100. And then we multiply by the salary. Then we'll have like this percentage actually multiply by years of experience. And this divided by 100. So if I have 2 years, I will get 0.5 multiplied by 2 will be 1. And then I will get 1% because it will be 0.5% for each year. So what I'm doing here is the percentage I will calculate. Let me show this in a better way. Will be this amount. Will be 0.5 for each year of experience. So if I have 10 years, will be 0.5 multiplied by 10. It will be 5%. And then 5% will be the result of this divided by 100. And now I will calculate by the salary, so I will see what is my raise based on my experience. Okay? And then I will do something very similar to kids raise. So what will be my kids raise? Will be 2% multiply by number of kids. Okay? This divide by 100. And if I want to be like very formal, after this, I multiply by the salary. Now that I have the two values, I can say that our new salary will be equals to the base salary plus experience raise plus kids raise. Now we can say, okay, let's do only what they are asked and print the name in the new salary. So you say print name, the variable name, and then we can call new salary. That will be new salary. So those percentage calculation is something very common. What changed from the previous question to this one? That now we don't have a fixed percentage, or we're not going to read it. Will be a combination. Will be how many years experience, and for every year, half percentage. That's why we had to do this calculation. And okay, we are done. Let's try to test it. Let's run it. Let's make here Jose. Let's say, to make it easier for us, the salary is 100,000. Years of experience, let's say 10. So 10 will be 5% because it's half percent for every year. So I make it easier. And kids, let's say 10 kids. No, let's put like 2 kids. So 2 kids will be 5%. Okay, so let's see if the math is correct. So will be 5% plus 4%. That is 9%. Is that why is 109? How I know that? Because, well, was half percent for every year. So 10 years multiplied by half will be 5%. 2% for every kid. I have 2 kids, will be 4%. And then in total will be 9%. And I could give here all those extra. I'm not going to do. Maybe you should do in your exercise to learn. And another homework is try to come with expression that does not rely on those two being calculated separately. Like build one single expression that we calculate all that. I don't like that because it will be a lot of calculation that is not good. Okay, we could even maybe break this in another variable. For example, we could make something like this. I remove this from here and say experience raise percentage. So that will be this calculation. It will be 0.5 per every year experience. And then here you say, okay, now I will divide this by 100. And then I multiply by the salary. The same thing we could do here. We could call something like kids raise percentage. That will be 2 kids multiplied by how many kids we have. So this will be the percentage. And now we can just say this will be, we will divide by 100 and multiply by the salary. All depends. This is a personal preference. I like the one before. I guess was good enough. But maybe this is good. Because, for example, in a real system, maybe you need to log those values to later on validate. Most of the time that we have to use some intermediate values to calculate things, we need to store them. Okay? So I'm just give you some options, and then you can build up your preference, and later on maybe do some trade-offs or what is better. And remember, I changed my code, so I need to retest. Never in your life change your code and just think it's finished. If you do any little change, test again, please. If you need to learn something about coding, is this. You cannot trust your code. It's like someone that just wrote a full page and just click the send button without rechecking that test. There is no writer in the world that can do that. Even a page, imagine like a chapter or a book. Okay, now that we run, let's try that again. Jose, salary 100. Years of experience like 5. Oh, I put like 5. No? Oh, yeah, 5. No, I put 10. And then 2 kids. And then the result is the same. Cool. So I hope we are make sure that this is easy now. I want you to be bored now. Say, oh my God, this guy repeat this again. Because for the next probably 50-hour class, I will be like that. Later on, we will see more complicated thing, but I want to make sure that we all are on the same page before you move on. Okay? And what you can do, there is many things you can calculate and train. Find something in your daily, something that you do in your work, something that, oh, how I calculate something, let me make it. Let me make a program to calculate my body mass or how much weight I should have in my age. So there is a lot of things out there that you can do. Cool? Okay, so, well, thank you for joining. God bless you. See you next class.